Welcome to Where Does JavaScript Go in HTML Part 2 of 3, as presented by CodeGearbox.com. My name is Jeff Darnell, and I'll be your instructor for the remainder of this video. In Part 1 of this video series, we discussed placing JavaScript in a thing called a script block. We took this script block, and then we either placed it in the head section or the body section of the HTML document. Then we observed the effect that these placements have on the JavaScript and when it was executed. In this part, Part 2 of the series, we'll be focusing in on using an external JavaScript file. And we'll take a look at attributes that really should be added to your HTML script tags to reduce errors. Please note that external JavaScript files are simply text files that are saved with an extension of .js rather than .txt. So let's go ahead and open up our HTML editor and create an external JavaScript file and save it to the same location that our HTML file is for ease of use. I've gone ahead and created a script file called script.js. In that script file, we can pretty much put any JavaScript that we want, and we don't even need to encapsulate it or wrap it in an HTML script tag. So let's go ahead and use our good old faithful alert function and create a line of JavaScript. We're going to go ahead and do Control S to save it. Now let's go over to our JavaScript HTML page. As we can see here, it's just a standard HTML page that's fairly blank. There's the bare bones HTML page you can possibly get. In here, what we need to do is we need to place a reference to our external script file. So let's go ahead and we're going to use the script element of HTML. And in addition to that script element, we need to point it towards the JavaScript file. So we're going to use an attribute called src, which stands for source. We're going to go ahead and point that at our JavaScript file. In this case, we saved our JavaScript file in the same location as our HTML page, so we just have to reference the file name. If the file was in a different location than your HTML file, you need to point it to a further definition of where it is. Let's go ahead and use Control S and save, and then go ahead and locate that HTML page and double click on it. What you're going to see is that when you go ahead and open up your HTML page, it's going to execute that JavaScript in that external file. Let's go ahead and close our alert box, and we're going to close our browser. Now, for the sake of experimentation, let's go ahead and take that script, copy it, remove it from the head section. Let's place it within the body. Just for a better understanding of when the code or the external script file is executed, let's go ahead and add just a standard header or HTML header element, and let's type something in here. And just for the sake of arguments, let's go ahead and add an additional smaller header after our script block, and let's go ahead and say now, let's go ahead and save our HTML. Let's locate that HTML page, and let's go ahead and double click on it. What we see here is we see that the alert box was actually executed after the first header was displayed or rendered. If we click the OK on our alert box, then we'll see that the second header is gone ahead and been rendered. Let's go ahead and close our HTML document, and let's talk a little bit further about attributes that you should be adding probably to your script file. Most browsers currently use JavaScript as their default script. However, you will note that there are multiple types of scripts out there. So in version 4 of HTML or older, you need to add language attribute and equal it to, as you can see here, there are 4 different script types there, JavaScript. The one caveat I will mention is that it is all lowercase. Now, I'm going to hit enter so that we're back within the field so that you can see what we're doing. And I want to mention that from HTML version 4.1 all the way to the newest version of HTML, which is XHTML, you need to add an additional attribute, which is called type. And what you need to select is you need to select text/JavaScript. Go ahead and select save, find the HTML file, and double click on it. And it does the exact behavior as it did before. However, going forward or going backward, you won't need to worry about compatibility as far as whether a browser has JavaScript as the default script. So that's all we have for part 2 of where does HTML fit in with JavaScript. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.